Hello everyone. In this video, I'm gonna show you how to implement recursive function in Visual Studio. And so, recursion is a very powerful technique because it can explore every possible cases. Whenever you hear words like all combinations, all possibilities, or brute force, recursion is usually one of the first tools to consider. However, recursion also has a big weakness, which is very slow. Because it blindly explores every path, the number of calls can grow exponentially. So before using recursion, we must clearly understand how many cases it will generate. To do that, we'll start with a very small example and practice tracing it step by step. Well, first things first, if you take a look at this small example over here, in this example, branch is 3 and level is 2, which means that at each level, we have 3 choices and we go 2 levels deep. In a tree-shaped recursion structure like this, level always starts from 0. So level over here is 0 and 1 and 2. Well, level 2 over here is the last level, which is the end of the recursion in this example. So we need to throw in the return command in this case. Well, I'm gonna write down the code for that tree structure. Well, I'm gonna name that recursion function as a tree, and well, so like I said before, the starting level of the tree-shaped structure is always 0. So if level is 2, we have to end this function. Otherwise, we're going to deep down the tree to check the all choices that we have. So in this case, level plus 1. The reason why I throw in level plus 1 is that we really want to go deep inside this tree. So this is why I throw in level plus 1 to implement this kind of structure. So well, the result doesn't show anything because we don't throw in any other command except for the structures, but it already skimmed through all the choices, which is 9 choices in this case already. Well, I'm gonna arrive at this point using the debug session in Visual Studio. So at level 0, we have to find I1. At level 1, we have to find I2 because I stands for branch. So I starts from 0 in this case. So 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. And our goal is to take this path to arrive this point. Well, just press the F10 to start the debug session. So F11 is step into, so you go into the function, and we have to find level. We have to find I1 at level 0. So I have to press F10 to step over, and then when we meet I1 at level 0, I have to step into, and then I'm gonna find I2 at level 1. Now I, I press F11 to step into this part. Now I arrive at this point. So this is return, which is the end of the recursion function. Well, as you probably can tell, this feature is pretty powerful but not convenient. So I'm gonna make the pass array. Well, in this case, the size of the pass array should be above of the size of the level at least. So in this example, the size of the pass should be above 8 bytes. So that's why I made the array for 2 elements at least. So, well, in this case, at this point, we have to record the pass. This is level 0 and this is level 1. So if I throw in the number 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 for the convenience, 1, 2, 3, we're gonna take this pass. So at level 0, we have to throw in 2. At level 1, we have to put in 3. This is the pass array. So, well, in this case, we have to record at each level. And for the convenience, I write down I plus 1 because our branch starts from 1 in this case. So if we come back, I'm gonna erase the pass array. So this is all about how it works. So I'm gonna execute this file again, and I'm gonna watch pass array. There we go. Step into, well, at level 0, I don't really need to go into this branch. So step over, and in this case, I have to step into. And at level 1, I have to find 3. So step over to skip. As again, we have to skip, step over. Now, this is the perfect timing to step into. So I press F11. So we arrived at this point. Well, whenever we arrive at level 2, we can print the pass. So it's gonna be pass I to see the entire pass. I'm gonna execute this file. Now we skim through all the cases, which we have the 9 choices. Gorgeous. Next up, let's talk about the brute force using for loops. Well, if we want all 4-digit combinations, we need 4 nested loops. For example, 4 digits 4 loops, 5-digit 5 loops, and so on. That quickly becomes unreadable and unmaintainable. Before we jump into the recursive function, I'm going to show you how to implement the brute force using for loops. One more. And I'm going to print out all the values. Yeah, it is working. And then if we want the 5-digit brute force, we have to add one more nested loop. Well, it is still working, but it is very inconvenient and, unmaintainable. So instead of this, I'm gonna use the recursive function. Well, if we implement the brute force using recursive function, we can make whatever digits we want. So the digits will be level and the digits would be variable in this case. And the branch would be 1 to 9, same as the previous example. and the level would be x, which is variable. And so I'm gonna make the code. If level is n, which is x, which is the variable, we're gonna end the recursion, and I'm gonna print the pass whenever we arrive at level. Well, we have 9 choices, and we have to record the pass array. And I'm gonna erase when we come back this. And yeah, I'm gonna show how the code works at the 3 digits and 4 digits and 5 digits lastly. There we go. Yes, this is how it works with the recursive function, which is very flexible using the recursive function, because we can change the level, we can change the number of the digits in this brute force example. Well, let's move on to the last example today. Well, this is a very fun example. So imagine a dungeon with 3 rooms, which is level, and in each room there are 4 treasure chests, which is branch over here. And you must pick exactly 1 chest from each room. So each chest contains a certain amount of gold, which is this number. And our goal is to calculate the total amount of gold for every possible pass through the dungeon. Well, if you take a look at this tree-shaped structure, as you probably can tell, we have 3 levels and 4 choices, which is branch. So I'm gonna copy and paste this data. Just write down the basic code, and I'm gonna call the recursive function again. In this case, we're gonna find out the total amount of gold at level 3. So that's why I throw in the sum parameter in this case as well. And if level is 3, I'm gonna end this function. And I'm gonna print out all the values of the gold, the total amount of the gold. And otherwise, I'm gonna skim through all the cases using the branch, which is 4. And in this example, we don't need the pass array. This is totally optional, because all we have to do is just figure out which the value the value of the gold, the amount of the gold. So there we go. Yeah, this is all the cases of the total amount of gold. I think the maximum value would be 23. So I'm gonna find out the maximum value of the gold right away. We don't need the all cases of the gold, and if the maximum value, the sum value is bigger than maximum value, I'm gonna update the maximum value like this, and I'm gonna print out the maximum value right away. 23. Gorgeous. Well, this is all about today's video. I hope you find it very useful. So, thanks for watching, and see you on my next video. Bye, guys.